Hello everybody, and welcome back. Today is something a little bit different. You'll be watching a couple replays as I just, have a couple things on my mind I wanted to share with you guys. So recently, there's been a lot on my mind, particularly to the way I live my life, the way things are going, the way my head works, and I've kind of seen it in play while playing this game too. Very basic things, such as just the fact that, I seem to have lost whatever creativity I felt like I once had. Inspiration seems to be very slow, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why I think that is. So, for those of you who have not been around for any of my past videos, I used to do a lot of really cool things. I was, kind of still am, a member of the YTDC, and we don't do anything very much anymore. We used to be the very creative guys that would post on YouTube little videos here and there of just weird, kind of obscure decks and have replays going on of what kind of crazy stuff they can do. And I've always been on this smaller end. I was always the one with the least subscribers, the least views, and honestly the lowest quality of videos. Surprise, surprise. I honestly am not surprised. But that was kind of how I got into this game. I learned to play by watching them. I learned to play by doing these things that I just happened to really enjoy doing. I loved seeing the very flashiness of synchros. I loved seeing the fact that you could just spam, do all kinds of crazy things. And I used to love that. I used to love watching it. I used to love doing it. I used to love creating just random combos. My most proud thing that I've ever done was my Victory Viper OTK deck. That's the one video. If I ever made anything, I wanted that one to get big, and it's kind of been the worst. But I loved that because it was me. I created something that was just absurd, obscene. I loved to watch it go off. It was very, very consistent, and that was my creation. I made that, and I made it really well.
Man, brontome, you made a really cool deck over here.
And ever since I posted my last video on it, it was technically like I think my third version of the deck, third or fourth. It was the fourth. I never posted the third, which was kind of based off of the old Lovecraft cards, but they never came out to the TCG until recently, and without Norden, there's just no way for that deck to work. And I've wanted to create a new version ever since, and that was almost 2 years ago now. I've lost that real drive to be creative, and I'm not sure exactly when it started or why it started, but I look back at the way I see the game now, and I want to win. I want to do well. I want to be better than I think a lot of other people are, and that I think has really kind of just narrowed down my viewpoint as to what I see. I no longer look at things and go, wow, this is the kind of stuff I enjoy, let's see if I can win with this. It says I look at this and go, wow, this thing does nothing, I'm not going to touch it, I'm not going to even try it. And I don't see anything happening. I don't sit down and look at cards and go, whoo, this thing can do this thing can do this, I can do this and this with this combo. Maybe if I were to use this, I can search out this one key piece, which is, this is kind of what made that Victory Viper deck in that video so special to me. It was just a bunch of random things kind of mashed together. Zodiacs, it was Vylons, it was Cyber Dragons, it was just a lot of different things, and they would all kind of mesh together and do really well. Be able to punch out this one monster that, gets to really high attack and then drops a token of the exact same attack, except it's even higher, because it would be like a 10,000 attack token and just poke and laugh. I used to love that feeling, and it was all just a bunch of random meshed together stuff. And I was watching an old friend of mine's video the other day, another one of the members of the YTDC, Aka Trios, and he put together this deck. He calls it Harmonious, but it's basically World Legacy. It's all the World Legacy monsters, the big ones, and a couple of the World Legacy archetypes. So it has a couple of Crusadia monsters in it, a couple of Orcus, some Mech Knights, and these are things that I would look at paper and I would go, yeah, these guys don't do anything related at all. The big guys kind of do, but they only go for the other big guys, so they either affect their archetype or they affect the big guys. They either search them or they special summon them or they do something along those lines, but they weren't good enough that I would think, these synergize, these things do things together. And he posted out his recent video and I watched that, I'm like, damn, I miss doing these kinds of things. I miss sitting down with my Synchron deck and just spamming out Quasar. I miss sitting down making Quasar and aliens because, you know, you can. I miss things like that. I miss doing the weird things that weren't actually good, but were so fun to make and to play. And I've kind of really lost sight of that. The things that I enjoy in this game isn't being the competitive person. I don't like playing the competitive decks just because they are the top deck. I don't play just for that. I love different things. And I've recently just been so infatuated with, I need to play the top deck if I want to be really great. And I think it's been ever since the Pendulum Magicians. Because I didn't play competitively in Spiral format. Honestly, I had no idea what the Spirals did. I still kind of don't, because they don't do anything, so I never see them. But I've never had a real interest in playing these meta decks until recently. And that's really just kind of shown and made things a little harder on my end, because I'm starting to focus on them and not the kinds of decks and playstyles that I actually enjoy playing. I do enjoy Sky Striker, things along those lines, but, you know, I don't enjoy how slow they are. They're not very special to me. They lose that special factor very, very easily. And if you look in like the decks that I have, the good old Pendulum Magician deck, when I finally broke down and said, I want to try this thing because it looks like it's fun, I even named it Cheap Deck, because I didn't look at it as anything else other than this is just what everyone else is playing. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I won a lot because, you know, they're a very unfair deck at that time. And they can do so many things. I was never the best at them, but whenever I was going against not them, I always won because, you know, I had the better deck. And I think that just got to my head. And I stopped really taking enjoyment from the things that I do, the things that I love doing. And that's the same in life in general. For those of you who don't know, my goal, my dream, I want to become an animator. I have a bunch of stories that I like to put out, and I want to make these things come true. I want to see them physically there, and I want to be the one to do it. And I haven't done it. It's the lack of motivation, the lack of interest. It's the dream is still there. I still want it more than anything, but I don't do it. And that's for a couple of reasons. There's also the fact I enjoy making music and things like that. I've never done a lot of music on this channel. I probably will never do it because I suck at actually making music. But I want to make music. I want to play things and make them sound cool. I want to be that guy that everyone can sit around and just be entertained by. I folded paper for almost my entire life, and I'm impressed I have yet to post a video on here. I have a couple of my own designs that I want to sit down and diagram. I want to improve on them. I want to make them look even better than they are, share them with the world, let people try it and maybe even learn how to do it, but I haven't done it. I look back at school and things like that, and I've always kind of skated by just on the bare minimum, let things happen as they go. I happen to be that guy that just absorbs information very easily, so I learn very quickly. I do work really well, and I test really well, but I never did, like, you know, the things you're supposed to do in school, so I never did homework and things like that. I never did anything that I should have done. So I look back now, and if I want to do anything, if I want to think about something, be smart, I go to Google. I don't use that memory that I have always had and always been really good with. I Google it. I don't figure things out anymore the way I used to. I sat down, we just got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas for our family, and instead of just, you know, trying to figure out how to disconnect the controllers and make them two separate controllers, I Googled it, which is so weird to me because this is the kind of thing that I've always just been able to instinctively figure out, and I didn't even try. I didn't even try to figure it out, and, you know, Googling it was so easy, and it was right, and obviously that all worked out, but the fact that I didn't even try on my own, and that really hit me, you know, and I kind of thought about that. So I guess you could say this is a New Year's resolution, earlier than most, but I want to be more creative again. I'm going to stop doing the norm that everybody else does. I'm going to start playing decks that are flashy, that I enjoy. I'm going to maybe do something with Synchros, or do something with Morphtronics, because I do enjoy Morphtronics, or Gishki, because they're fun. Things like that. And I want to create a new working version of Victory Viper again, because that is my favorite thing. That is the coolest thing to me, the fact that you can have a giant token, and you can turbo it out, and no one else has ever done that but me. People would show me their decks and it would just be like, just a bunch of floodgate, solidarity, and things like that. But no, not me. I did something unique. I did something special, and I need to do that again. So I guess you could say that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start being creative, and I'm going to do the things that I enjoy. And who knows, maybe I will still be very terrible at this game, maybe not. But here's to hoping that at least I'll be doing what I love again. We didn't get to the moon because someone else figured it out and someone else had to read it in a book. We went to the moon because people sat down, played with fireworks until they had rocket fuel, and then they figured out how to send a giant rocket into space. Not because someone else did and just, posted an article about it, but because we as a people actually tried. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I think we as a people need to accomplish. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, subscribe, do whatever it is that you guys do. But hopefully you guys will take out of this too, that we, as a people, we just need to do the things that we love again and not ignore it, not forget it, not put it to the side because it's useless now. Here's to the future. Thanks.